Hello to all my story lovers. Welcome back in Story Time channel. I'm Pallavi reading interesting stories for you. As you know, we are reading the book The Magic of the Lost Temple. We have read first chapter. Now let's go to the second chapter, the visiting the village. Let's go through it. 2 days later, Nooni woke up early in the morning. She quickly had a bath and went to the dining room. Usha combed her hair and gave her breakfast. While Nooni was eating, her mother said, "My child, this is the first time that you will be away from both Dad and me. I know your Ajja and Aji love you very, very much, but they are getting old. Try and help Aji in the kitchen. Maybe you can do things like washing the vegetables, cleaning the table, placing mats, and filling the water." Nooni nodded absent-mindedly as Usha continued. "I have packed your walking shoes, swimming costume, and 2 pairs of flip-flops. I have also packed a few hats so that you can use them when you go out in the sun. Don't drink water from anywhere except for the boiled water that Aji will give you. I have kept an extra water bottle so you can carry some water with you no matter where you go." "Don't worry, Amma," said Nooni. "I have added some fun books for you to read. Some of them are simple stories about the history of Karnataka and India. You can sit with your grandfather every day and he will add to those stories. I will call you as frequently as I can, but your dad will call every day. Behave well and enjoy your stay, Nooni. I don't want to hear any complaints about you. What do you want from Delhi? I will definitely get it for you." Nooni heard her mom's voice turn hoarse. When she looked up at her, she was surprised to see that her mother's eyes were moist. "Get me whatever you like, Mom," she said gently. Usha patted Nooni's head. When Shekhar walked into the dining room a few minutes later, Usha pointed to a basket and told him, "Take these apples and oranges for your parents. I have bought 2 packets of walnuts and almonds for your father and 2 cotton saris for your mother. She will find them comfortable in the summer. Don't forget to give it to them now. I have also kept some paper garlands for the local temple there. Your mother was looking for them when she was here the last time." Suddenly the Usha grabbed Nooni and gave her a long, tight hug before saying goodbye. Nooni didn't understand why her mother looked so sad and simply hugged her back. Vivek uncle joined Shekhar and Nooni while they were putting their bags in the car, and within a minute the trio were on their way to Somanhalli. Since Nooni was not used to getting up so early in the morning, she quietly fell asleep in the back seat. When she woke up, she found her father and Vivek uncle chattering away about various things. "I have a cousin who lives in Harihar near the Harihareshwar temple. We can take a bathroom break there if you want. Nooni can relax a little before we resume our journey," Vivek uncle suggested. "Since there's barely any traffic right now, we may reach early if we don't stop on the way," said Shekhar. Then he turned to Nooni and asked, "Do you want to take a break to use the bathroom later? If so, we will go to Harihara." Nooni shook her head. Shekhar continued. When I was younger, this journey used to take 8 hours. I don't know how I survived it. What was it like to grow up in Somanhalli, Shekhar? Ours was a joint family of three brothers and their families. We all lived under the same roof. Both my uncles were older than my father and had four children each. My father, however, had only one child, me. So we were total of 9 children. My mother was a patient woman, and since she was the youngest wife, the family made her responsible for all the cooking. My poor mother has spent her entire life in the kitchen. It was the same menu for breakfast every day, poha or upma. I didn't like either of them. Sometimes, though, there was a dosa or idli. When I complained to my mother about it, she would try to pacify me by saying that individual requests could not be entertained in a joint family. It was very frustrating for me at the time. Now I know why you don't touch upma at any of our office parties, said Vivek. Not only that, I always ask Nooni what she wants to eat for breakfast. I have told Usha to make whatever she wants and not what is convenient for us. I really had hard time, so I know how it feels. Growing up, I had the same problem with clothing. While the girls had a little more freedom, all the boys had pants and shirts made of the same color and material. It was like I had a uniform at home and in the school. Vivek laughed harshly. Shekhar did not. Nooni finally understood why her dad took her to a fancy mall on her birthday every year and asked her to buy whatever she wanted. Though he would have liked her to buy a dress, Nooni usually chose leggings and a tee, and he never forced her to change her choice. You must have had a lot of fun though, said Vivek. To tell you the truth, I didn't like living in the joint family. Individual merit is usually never considered or appreciated in such a family. For example, I was good at studies, but my cousins were not. Still, we were sent to the same school. Later, my parents sent me to Hubli to study, and I had to switch from Kannada medium school to an English medium one. It was a big challenge and a tough adjustment, but fared well. Eventually, I completed my graduation from Karnataka Medical College in Hubli and my post graduation from Bangalore. After coming to Bangalore, I knew I wanted to live in a big city. There are just so many more opportunities there. How did you spend your summer vacations? Well, there really wasn't much choice. It is a sleepy village with a population of around 4,000. There was no summer school or workshops, and so there was nothing much to do. Amma would make a lots of papads which needed to be baked in the sun. So the other kids and I help her by running up and down the stairs and spreading them out on the terrace. If it rained, we rushed to cover them with plastic sheets. She would also make multiple kinds of pickle, so we had to help her with cutting the mangoes or chopping wood because of the rampant shortage of electricity. There would be all kinds of errands to run. Of course, we had helpers, but still, if we didn't work, they didn't work either. I hated the chores. Instead, I wanted to read. My limited stock of new books would finish within a week during my holidays, and we did not have a library in our village. So one summer, my father gave me Kettle's Kannada English dictionary, which I memorized. In those days, the illiteracy rate was very high, so some villagers would come to me to help them write their letters. Are you planning to give Nooni a dictionary too? Joke Vivek. Yes, Usha has already packed a dictionary in her bag, but it's not that hard. It is children's dictionary. Shekhar glanced at Nooni in the back seat. Are you completely awake now? Do you want to eat something? No, she replied absent mindedly. She was thinking about starting work on that dictionary soon. You must have fond memories of your village, remarked Vivek. Yes and no. Almost all my cousins have left the village and are in ordinary jobs. After their parents passed away, they wanted to sell their property, and I bought it because my father didn't want to lose our ancestral land. Practically, it is really of no use to me because I have settled in Bangalore and I don't plan to ever move back. I don't have any friends there and I feel like a misfit. I don't like to see the dirt, dust, and the bad maintenance in the village. There's also the frequent failure of electricity. Now, it is very difficult for me to live there. Usha doesn't seem to mind it so much. Maybe it's because her father was transferred to many states and villages during his career at the bank. But still, I know that the village is my parents' life. Do you still have relatives there? Yes, I have an aunt called Sarsu. She is my father's sister and is settled there with her children and grandchildren. I don't think she is ever gone out of Karnataka. Then I have a cousin who owns a medical store and his son is an army officer currently based in Delhi. He visits once a year and I make sure that I meet him then. What does your father do in the village? Oh, he is a very busy man. He is a trustee of the temple, and whenever a wedding takes place, he is called for an occasion, and the newlyweds take his blessings. He has few cows and insists on taking care of them, even though they only supply 1 liter of milk every day. He also grows paddy and coconuts but spends more money on the labor and then donates most of it to the temples. He grows bananas, gives them away to all the village children. Sometimes he sells vegetables too. He is very happy going about his business. Amma is another one. She can't make food for only 2 people. She cooks for at least 10. They have a few servants who do little work but are reliable, paid well, and fed even better. Overall, I guess you could say that my parents led a happy and content retired life. Nooni started thinking about Ajja and Aji's house in the village. She had been there many times. Ajja owned a 15-acre garden on the outskirts of the village, and adjacent to it were huge paddy fields. There was a small and beautiful rivulet flowing through the garden. Ajja had built a small guest house and a few houses for the workers to stay in. There was a wall around the garden, but not the paddy fields. He called this his farm. Nooni loved the farm. There was so much water and fresh air and so many trees. It was her dream playground for hide and seek. It was warm by the time they reached the sleepy little village of Somanhalli. Shekhar's father was standing outside the house waiting for them, along with an unexpected crowd of people. The villagers had come to see the important Dr. Sahib who belonged to their village. At least 10 patients were sitting on the side awaiting a free consultation. As Nooni got out of the car and looked around, she noticed that Aji was very busy serving tea to all the patients. She rushed inside to meet her grandparents and touch their feet. Aji immediately hugged her, and Nooni felt the warmth of her hug. From the corner of her eye, Nooni saw Mahadeva approaching them. Mahadeva was an 18-year-old boy. His father was a clerk in the Gram Panchayat while his mother Savita worked in the kitchen and helped Aji every day. The family owned a small piece of land. Mahadev dreamed of graduating from college, increasing his knowledge about horticulture, and starting a greenhouse or a nursery of his own. But he needed money for his schooling. Luckily, Ajja was sponsoring his education, and Mahadev was very grateful to the old couple. He stayed in Ajja and Aji's house and took a bus to college every day. In the summer, his college was closed and he made sure that he was available the entire day to help Ajja and Aji with their chores. Mahadev came and asked, Aji, where should I put Nooni's bag? You can keep it in the room next to Amma's. Shekhar answered his question and introduced Vivek to his parents. Shekhar, Usha, and Nooni always stay in that room during their visits to Somanhalli. No, said Aji. Please leave it in my room. I don't want the child to sleep alone. Oh, Aji, I'm used to sleeping by myself in my room back home in Bangalore, Nooni said confidently. This is not Bangalore, Nooni. There is a better air circulation in my room at night. Also, I can tell you a lot of stories before we sleep. Nooni smiled and nodded enthusiastically. Mahadev kept the bags and brought the fruits and other goodies from the car into the living room. Nooni saw a few children swim around the goodies. She only knew one of them, a girl called Medha. The children were fascinated by the contents of the basket. Ajja noticed Nooni's curious face. Nooni, you will have many friends to play with during your vacation this time. You already know your cousin Medha, don't you? Yes, Ajja. She is Sarsu Aji's granddaughter. Medha studied in the 7th grade in the local high school in the village. She was very fond of the arts and was especially good at rangoli and nature sketches. She was shy and took time to make friends, but she was very helpful and excellent at household work. Then there's Amit, who has come from Delhi and studies in Kendriya Vidyalaya here. Ajja continued. He is Dr. Kaka's grandson. Nooni nodded. She knew Dr. Kaka. His real name was Prakash and he owned a multi-purpose store in the village. It was mainly a pharmacy that also sold newspapers, milk, and the other grocery items. Since it was the only medical store in the area, people who could not afford to go to a doctor would go directly to Prakash. They would tell him their symptoms and request him for advice and medicines. In time, Prakash came to be known as Dr. Kaka, even though he was not a real doctor. His son was a colonel in the army, but despite his regular transfers, he managed to visit Somanhalli for a few weeks every year and ensure that his son Amit spent all his summer vacation in the village. He would say it is very important for a person to know his or her motherland as well as their village to develop patriotism. Amit must know where he comes from. When Amit first came to spend 2 months in the village, he found it hard, but he adjusted very quickly. Now he stays in Somanhalli without either of his parents. He knew Hindi very well. Most of the time he could be found swimming in the Vardha river or in his grandfather's pharmacy in the evenings. Aja pointed to a boy who was busy sifting through the fruits in the basket. See that boy? Aja asked. He is Anand, the son of our new school headmaster, Shankar, and he's in the 8th grade. His family had just moved here from Mysore. He is an intelligent boy and avid reader. He also knows a lot about computers and other subjects because the atmosphere in the house is very academic. Father and son discuss politics, history, physics, and various other topics almost every day. Is Shankar around? Asked Shekhar as he relaxed on a chair. Vivek was sitting comfortably on a sofa nearby. You mean Shankar Master? He must be in school at this time, said Aja. His wife Gauri is my friend's daughter, Aji added. So we had given the family the adjacent house to stay in. Anyway, the house had been locked for years. What happened to the house on the other side? Asked Shekhar, recalling the empty houses of his two uncles. That is under lock and key. We use part of it as storage and a part is kept ready for guests to stay in. If there is a wedding in the village, people come from outside, they can stay there, said Ajja. What? Isn't there a wedding hall in a village? Asked Nooni. No, the concept doesn't usually exist in villages. Typically, the wedding is performed at home and the guests are accommodated in people's houses. Ajja concluded. Appa, I'm going to leave after lunch, interrupted Shekhar. I must reach Bangalore today. Usha will leave for Delhi in the afternoon. I have kept some bananas, tender coconuts, 10 kilograms of rice and 100 lemons for you to take back home. Also take few vegetables and mangoes from garden. Everything is organic. No, Appa, please, I can't. I will be living alone now and I don't need so much. I will just get wasted. Getting the water out from a tender coconut is a big process in the city. I would rather buy it from the vendor who sits in front of my hospital and gives it to me ready to drink with straw. We still have the rice you gave us last time. Moreover, there is no one at home to make pickle out of these 100 lemons. Just 10 will be enough for me. Aja sounded sad when he said, it doesn't matter. You can share it with Vivek. No, sir, it is really too much for me too. I can only take half of everything, said Vivek. Well, the car is already loaded with fruits and vegetables. Give the remaining to temple nearby, suggested Ajja. The nearest temple is quite a distance away. Appa doesn't understand the logistics and distances in the city, Shekhar thought to himself. Meanwhile, Aji started laying down banana leaves on the dining table. Nooni remembered her mother's advice and rushed to kitchen. Aji, may I help you? You are such a sweet little girl. Why don't you sit down and eat with your father? Let me at least give everyone water, Nooni insisted. Is the water boiled and cool? Shekhar turned to his mother and asked. Shekhar, don't worry. As a doctor's mother, I am aware of the importance of clean water. We also have a water filter at home, said Aji, and started putting the water into the glasses on the table. I don't know how I used to drink water from the river when I was a child. But the funny thing is that I never felt sick. Maybe the rivers weren't polluted then. Shekhar wondered silently. Aji had made several dishes for lunch, but Shekhar did not taste all of them. I will have a light lunch, Amma, or I will become sleepy and be unable to drive if I eat too much. Aji was unhappy, but she recovered soon. Be careful while driving. Don't worry about Nooni. She will have good time here. I have already made plans for her. Every morning I will involve her in the activities of the home, and every afternoon she can spend the time with friends. Many children from different places are coming for the wedding, so Nooni will have fun meeting them. I have stitched a silk langa and blouse for her, said Aji. I am planning to take her for my morning walks and show her different animals and birds which she won't see in Bangalore. Tell Usha also not to worry about her. We will try to call her once a day, Aja assured him. Nooni smiled to himself. Aja was a talkative person, and his morning walks could hardly be called morning walks. He talked to everyone he met on the road, and leisurely took an hour to reach his farm, which was no more than a 20 minutes walk away. Then he would spend an hour there and bring back some vegetables and fruits to the house. Soon it was time for Shekhar and Vivek to begin their journey back to the Bangalore. Nooni hugged her father. Dad, I will enjoy myself here. Please don't worry. She was happy to stay in the village. There would be no routine and no summer camp. Shekhar smiled, opened his bag, and took out a brand new cell phone. He handed it to Nooni and said firmly, You will never get this privilege in Bangalore. I have bought this for you, but only for while you are here. The landline in Appa's house doesn't always work, and I am quite certain that the reception here may not be that good either. You can use this to call us when there's proper network. Can I take pictures with the phone, Dad? Asked Nooni excitedly. Yes, of course you can. Nooni did not know how to operate the new cell phone, but she knew that she would figure it out quickly because even in Bangalore, she knew how to use her mother's cell phone better than her mother did. She was pleased at the thought of taking pictures of Aja's farm, the cowshed, and the fruits and the vegetables. Nooni happily said goodbye to her father and Vivek uncle. As soon as the car left, she suddenly felt like she should have gone back with her father. For an instant, she felt abandoned in a strange place without her parents. Her thoughts were cut short as Aja's voice called out her, Nooni, I am eating lunch now. Come and sit next to me and help. Aji's real intention was to distract her. She understood what the child must be feeling. Softly, Aji said, Someday you will have to leave your parent house, either to study or because you are getting married. At first, you may find it difficult, but you will learn a lot and eventually you will adjust. Then you will find that it is nice feeling to be on your own. Look at your father. He left his village when he was just 16 years old, and when Ajja went on pilgrimages, I was left here all alone. But I learned to manage the farm and the house. So when you go back to Bangalore after 2 months, you would have learned and understood more than any book can ever teach you. Now tell me, would you like to watch cartoons? No, Ajji, I don't want to watch TV, replied Nooni. Her eyes were focused outside the main door on a bicycle leaning against a wall. Ajji, who rides that bicycle? she asked. That bicycle belongs to Anand. He rides it like the wind. In fact, every child in the village knows how to ride because the government gives all the student bicycles. Why are you asking? Don't you know how to ride? No, Ajji, I don't know how, Nooni said, a little disappointed. In fact, the government does not give bicycles at my school. Maybe not. You are from a big city and a different school. I also want to learn how to race with the wind, Aji. Nooni wind. It is not difficult to learn how to ride bike. I can ask Anand or Mahadev to teach you. But remember that unlike Bangalore, the roads here are not tar and you may fall. And if you are scared of falling, then you won't be able to learn. Why didn't you learn in Bangalore, Nooni? There are barely any open space for kids like to me learn to ride. Just then Anand, Amit and Medha walk in through the front door. Aji asked them, Children, did you all eat lunch? They all nodded and said hi to Nooni. Amit added, But I haven't eaten any dessert. I knew it, Aji smiled. Follow me. I have made payasam today for the milk our cow Basanti gave us. Noni, please bring 4 bowls and spoons from the kitchen. Quickly, Noni got the bowls and the spoons. Within a few minutes, the 4 children sat and ate their fill of the payasam without hesitation. Noni felt a little awkward. In Bangalore, she would not behave so shamelessly in anyone's house, even if it was a friend's home. Suddenly, she felt shy and didn't know what to say to Anand, Medha, and Amit. After a minute, she mustered up her courage and turned to Anand. I want to learn cycling. And Aji said that you are very good at it. Will you teach me, please? Anand looked at her closely. But you are wearing a dress. Change into pants first and we will go to the school playground. Also, don't blame me if you fall down. It happens. I fell down 3 times while I was learning. I can show you the scars right now. He proudly lifted his shirt sleeves and rolled his pants up to his knees. He had 3 distant stars. Anand, be gentle. Nooni doesn't have to learn cycling in a day. She will be here for 6 weeks, said Aji. When do you want to start? Anand asked Nooni. Now! It was half questions. Anand nodded. Aji called out Mahadev and instructed him. The kids are planning to go to the school playground. Go with them and keep an eye on all of them. Nooni is going to learn cycling so you can help her and ensure that she doesn't do too much in one day. In fact, you can teach her yourself. Come back before the sun sets. Here, take some apples with you in case the children or you feel hungry. Then she turned to Medha. You can also go and get your cycle. Aji, I need a cycle too, said Nooni. Don't worry about that. You can take mine. I will bring it to the playground. I have something else I want to do anyway. Medha offered immediately. Aji looked fondly at all of them. Children, whenever you want to go anywhere in the village with your friends, make sure that you take Mahadev with you. He knows this area like the back of his hand. Nooni nodded obediently and rushed to the bedroom to change her clothes. Amit said excitedly, Aji, I cycle and ride a Luna inside the army campus because the roads don't have potholes and they are nice and wide. I will also bring a cycle. He turned around and ran home. This is the second chapter. Do you like it? Then tell me in the comment box. Thanks for watching, guys, and subscribe for more. Bye bye.